Bruzer Nation, I hope you're ready to hear this great interview with Colton Quinn. First, just wanted to let everybody know this one took a little bit longer to come out than I had anticipated. A couple of audio issues on my end, so I had to do a lot of editing, a lot of refocusing, and with the loss of the Manchester Terrier Lola, it just made it a little more difficult. So I hope Bruzer Nation, you guys enjoy this, and you know what? This podcast is for Lola. This week, we're talking to the rowdy rebel Colton Quinn, his journey in pro wrestling so far, his fandom, family, overcoming physical and mental obstacles, and a whole lot more as we enter the Rebels Playground. I really want to thank you for hopping on here and taking time out of your schedule to go ahead and let us learn a little bit about yourself. Not only me, because we're always busy when we see each other, but also the fans. They get to know you a little bit more personally this way. I guess the first question would have to be who started your relationship with professional wrestling? Was it your mom? Was it your grandma? How did that work out?
No, actually, my my mom and my grandma didn't like us watching wrestling, so we were those kids. Me and my older brother, we would sneak out when they're asleep, and we would watch it. And I remember the first time, I think my brother like snuck out and he turned on SmackDown, and I seen the Undertaker, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And from there, it was just whenever I could see it, I would watch it.
How could you not with how could you not with
Yeah,
the Undertaker be mesmerized as a child?
right.
Do you remember when that was? Like how old you were or like
Oh man. My brother, he's older than I am, but I'm thinking I was around 6 or 7, honestly. Because
oh
like
okay.
I remember when I hit like 8 years old, I was like, okay, this is it. I love this. Like I remember that, but it was a little bit before that that I started sneaking out to watch it.
So we're saying like post attitude era, I would say age
Yeah, it
wise.
was. Yeah, ruthless aggression, pretty much. Because it was around like 2003 ish, 2004, I
God.
think.
I was a year out of high school.
Yeah, I was like 6 or 7. Have to do some math. I don't know.
Oh, we did not come here to do math today,
Yeah,
sir.
I know it was a long time ago already. I know that.
Who were some of your favorites when you first started watching?
Oh, definitely. Like so many people my age, like the Hardy Boys were definitely it for me. Like I love them. Randy Orton, Triple H, the main like the big guys. Then and then obviously over like TNA was just started, so I loved like Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, people like that.
Like, was there anybody that you wanted to like mold or kind of take not take away from, but borrow from when you started? Or inspiration, I guess, would be the better term. Is there anybody you took inspiration from
Yeah,
when you started wrestling?
yeah, yeah. No, when I was a kid, like definitely. Like I seen Jeff Hardy and I was like, I'm gonna be exactly like him when I was like when I grow up. He was all time favorite personally. Um, and then like Chris Jericho was a big one too. I loved Chris Jericho. I thought he was great. Uh, a lot of controversy around the next one, but I loved Chris Benoit too when I was a kid.
Chris Benoit was
Yeah, I thought he was
fantastic.
phenomenal. Like that, he would trade places. It would either be like, hey, tonight Jeff Hardy's my favorite, or tonight Chris Benoit's my favorite. It depended on who was on TV. But yeah, that was really how it all started, and I just kept watching. And then about 24, when I was 24, I was like, hey, it's time to do this. So reached out, got trained, and here I am.
Way out in Buffalo now
Yeah,
too, bro. Like that's a far
yeah,
drive.
yeah. Even we're actually a little bit past Buffalo, so we had to like get past the toll bridge and everything, and it was a blizzard, man. Yeah,
You showed me the picture. That shit was wild.
yeah.
No, that could not have been fun at all.
No.
What else? What have you been doing since Winter Reunion? I guess it's been a while since we talked. So what have you been doing?
Well, this past weekend I had two shows. I was in Parma, and see, I still wrestle all over Ohio, but I was just in Parma for RSW, and then Sunday I had a Power Slam It's in like the new Philadelphia Maslin area, and that's actually what we were coming back from. So, yeah, I've just been still wrestling, working on a little bit of side projects here and there, but that's pretty much it.
Those side projects, I think action figures. I think I've seen.
It's like so they're like I was thinking like everyone like has my shirts. It's getting to a point where like I'm getting the same shirts remade, but I'm not really selling them. So I was like, man, what can I really do? And I remember when I was a kid, I would have like actual like Jack Pacific wrestlers, or even like the old like Hasbro ones, I think. And I would get bored, and I'd be like, oh well, I don't like that they're in these pants anymore, so I'd paint them as a kid. And I was like, oh, there's like those wooden mannequins that you can like use the sketch or whatever. And I was like, what if I just paint these and glued some yarn on it to look like me? And I've only done one so far. I'm actually, spoiler alert, I'm actually working on one again.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty cool, man. I dig that. That's cool.
yeah, I'm working on one again. But yeah, they're just like little things you can find at like Walmart and even Family Dollar, and we'll just pick them up and I paint them.
You're the
Yeah.
artist. You have like the artistic talent, I would take then.
Yeah. Like I tell everyone, I usually sketch out my like that design on your shirt. Like I sketch that out first, and then I send it to Danny actually, and because she's really good with like the digital stuff, like iPads and stuff, and I am not. So I'll just sketch it on a piece of paper and I'll send it out to her. There's one shirt I had someone else work on because I just didn't have time to do it. But and then that's how I draw and color and everything, all of my stuff, and then I get help when I need it.
One of those just got to do it
Yeah,
yourself because they won't.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of got to do it yourself.
Like I feel like I don't. If I let someone else do it, they don't see it how I want it to be done. So I'd rather just do it myself.
Are you that way? Are you a perfectionist just in pro wrestling or
Just
everything
pro
else?
wrestling. Everything else is just it just gets done. Yeah, yeah,
I am the same way when it comes to it. There's
hmm
only a few things I'm perfectionist at.
yeah, for sure.
What was that deciding factor when you finally decided to train as a professional wrestler and really make this career?
Um, that was more of like on a personal side. I was ready to like change my life around. I wasn't in like a great place. So it wasn't really like trying to mold myself after everyone, just trying to get where I wanted to be. And I was just there one night and I was like, man, if I don't do this now, like I'm getting older. I got to do this now or I'm not going to. And luckily, like I reached out to the ASWA training center and they took me on and they let me just figure it all out on my own. So, well, I mean, they trained me obviously, but figure out who Colton Quinn was supposed to be on my own. I don't want to sound like that guy, but I don't want to be like Jeff Hardy. I don't want to. I just want to be me, man. Like that's all it is.
I mean, that's good, man. You can only be you. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't want to be known as the next whoever. You want to be the first
Right.
you. That's really important and really smart. Now, you mentioned you were in like a dark
Right.
place. So, is that something you would like to share with the fans? Is that something you're comfortable
Um.
sharing, or is that something you don't want to
No. No.
really share
It's
today?
No, it's actually like it's a story I use because like I also do like on the side I try and do like nutritionist and I try and help people with like fitness and stuff because like I was almost 300 pounds, man. You know what I mean? And now I'm barely breaking 200. So, but yeah, I was in a place with life where I wasn't exactly like the happiest person, and I might have dragged some other people down with me at the time. So when I got removed from that situation, it was just time to like really, really sit down and like, listen, you want to do this with your life, you're gonna have to clean it up. So I did, man. I didn't give myself, and plus, the world was kind of shut down, so I didn't have much else to do but go to work and figure that out. So yeah, like I literally was the weekend that the ASWA training center reopened, I was there as the first tryout of that like whole reopening process. Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, it's been really nice, like
Yeah.
as this has gone, as we've been broadcasting these shows, to see you kind of grow as a performer. It's been really, and I've been able to notice the change and growth in your wrestling. It's really fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not as like deer in the headlights anymore. So I've figured out who I want to be in that ring. So it's gotten a lot comfortable, like more comfortable. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, have you
Yeah.
ever worked heel
I'm
before?
going to
I
be
can't remember.
100%. I have been heel, yes. For there's a place in Zanesville. It's Desire Pro Wrestling. I was in a tag team with Izzy Lambert there, and they allowed me to be a little nuisance, I guess. I was tripping people and taking their gear, and yeah, man, it was a fun time though. It was really fun, but it's not where I wanted. Like not the place. Desire was incredible. I don't want to sound like that. Desire was incredible. It was just that wasn't whom I wanted my character to be. So I just didn't. I want my
I get that.
character
I get
to
that.
be as much as like who I am outside of the ring as it can be. And I know there's a lot of people that would rather separate that, and I get it. But like no, like in real life, I have very good connections with people, so I'd love to do it in the ring as well. So it feels more genuine, you know.
So we just get to see you kind of turned up to 11 then.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, my dog put a bone under the table. All right.
Oh man, you're good, man. Got to take care of them dogs.
Yeah, yeah, I got it.
Oh, do you have any other road stories that you can share with us?
Besides this last one, man, I don't know. We were, yeah, I know me, Danny, Izzy, and Beastman were all in Tennessee one time, and that was fun. We had to like pick Beastman up from the airport and stuff, and it was like a 9 hour, maybe 10 hour drive from Tennessee to take someone back to Pennsylvania and then come home. And I've never been so tired. Like, but I don't really have any like crazy road stories, honestly. I remember my first show I ever went to. It was I wasn't even working at the time. I think I was only, oh my God, like a month into training. And I went up to Indiana with Jimmy and a couple other people. And I remember I was falling asleep
Oh,
on the way back,
whoa.
and a deer ran across, and Jimmy slammed on the brakes, and I was like in the middle of the back between two people, and I
Oh my
almost flew
god.
like completely onto Jimmy's lap. And I don't know, man. Like, really, I've been very lucky with the road, man. There's not like a lot of crazy stories like in a
Yeah,
car
yeah, okay, let's
or
keep it
that
to
I
the
should
ones
really
that you
share.
can share.
Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've been very lucky on the road, and it's usually just like when I lived in Ohio, I would go everywhere by myself a lot unless I was like booked with someone. But I know like recently it's usually just me and Danny in the car, so we've been very lucky to just have our roads go very smoothly.
Now, speaking of Danny, what's it like to be able to have like your partner on this journey with you and tag? Have you guys
Oh,
tagged
we've actually
before?
tagged for a while since we started. We actually have it and had a name besides the one that we're using. Yeah, we would go by the fall. It was just something that we could take and like put our characters together because like I'm a little bit of a little like I guess it's in the name. It's the Rowdy Rebel. So I'm like a rebel and she's the Dark Angel. So we just thought like the fall, obviously that's taken from like the Bible story, you know, like the angels fell and all that stuff. But yeah, no, we've tagged a few times. We tagged for a little bit over in Midwest Championship Wrestling. That's in Marion, Ohio. We've done some tags in Victory Championship Wrestling,
Okay.
which is actually Beastman's company. That's down in West Virginia. Actually, we have a match for them Friday in
I didn't know he had a
Pennsylvania.
company. I didn't know he had a
Like,
company.
oh, literally like 2 days. We'll be in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
What's the name of Beastman's?
Victory Championship Wrestling. It's another place that, like, besides ASWA, we feel very at home, because it was the first place outside of ASWA that gave us a chance. Um, Obviously, Beastman.
Oh,
Beastman's
dude,
on the card.
Beastman's the best,
He
dude.
is phenomenal. So if you're able to check him out, definitely do that because he's doing
Okay.
huge things right now. There's a guy on there named Cowpoke Paul. He's actually their heavyweight champion now. Another
Oh.
incredibly talented wrestler. I'm wrestling David Lawless. He is like a well, he's the law of pro wrestling. Yeah, and he is also very, very talented. He's been doing it for a
I
while
bet.
too, so he has
Okay.
experience. It's going to be a very good show. Danny is actually wrestling Lexus Sin. I think she trained out of
Cool.
Pennsylvania as well. I could be wrong. She's very talented. She's newer, up and coming, very, very talented. So their match is gonna be very, very solid. I'm excited to see that one. But yeah, and then after that, I'm cool until February 8th. Actually, yeah, get a little break, a little break.
What do you do in between when you have your breaks?
Um, a lot of video games. Yeah, no, I like I said, I like to work on my own gear and stuff. We'll hang out, watch TV if I'm not working. But no, like a lot of my life, it might sound boring, but I'm very pro wrestling focused. Like a lot of my time is just like, can I design a new shirt? Can I design new gear? Can I watch and study new matches? Think about new moves I want to figure out, new holds, stuff like that. So I'm pretty boring, I guess. I don't do a lot outside of wrestling anymore.
Man, I wouldn't call that boring. I call that dedication, man. You're trying to
Yeah,
work on your craft.
yeah.
Any new moves or anything to go with this new rebel persona?
So I actually debuted a new finisher at Power Slam Sunday. I have not used it. I have not used it in Mansfield yet. But I have two people that either one of them could maybe find themselves in it on the 8th. So maybe it'll make an appearance.
You got a name for it?
Yeah, it's called the Rebel's Way. Yeah. Like I started calling. Yeah, I started obviously calling the ring the Rebels Playground because, man, like I just go in there and I have
I like
fun,
that.
like that's where I feel like 100% like me. So that it's my playground, man. I'm there to have fun. I'm there to, recess is in session, So like, yeah.
I mean, if you ain't having fun, why are you even out there?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not having fun, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
So what's it like to be able to
Yeah. Yeah.
team up with your partner and like help her out finally with this whole feud with Manson Crane? I mean, they
Yeah.
kidnapped Danny, she came back. It's been a whole thing, dude. What's it like? What's it mean for the two of you to finally try to put this to bed?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we said, and there's a possible title shot if we win that. There's a possible title shot if we win that. That's what the promotion said. So, um, I mean, I've worked Manson quite a few times, man. Like I've wrestled him. Oh man, outside of ASWA, even like two or three times, and it's just like they kidnapped Danny. Danny wants help. Why not me? I got a problem with him too. So why not me? And it means a lot because we've tried to tag for a while, even before like everything even happened. We it was just something where we enjoyed tagging. We did it like one time and we were like, oh, we can make this work, and we obviously we had a tag name, you know what I mean? Like we wanted to do it in Mansfield. We got to do it in Mansfield one time. That was against the status symbols, Random Pain and Bouncer. So like, yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. She needed help. Again, why not me? I don't like Manson either. He can't grow hair. So Yeah,
right?
but
I was wondering if that was an aesthetic choice or on or like he didn't have a choice.
no, no, but yeah, it means a lot. Yeah, it's a really cool opportunity, man, and it's kind of like a full circle thing. We started training together, and like here we are, you know. Right, right, yeah, right, yeah, it does definitely.
So as we keep going here, there's always a question I ask when I get a chance to talk to wrestlers. When you're booked and you look at the card and you see somebody across the ring, like who is it that is? I mean, I don't want to say day off, but like almost like a day off, or where you're just beginning, middle, end, and you just go out there. Do you have any guys like that?
Yeah, the when I there's actually two. Obviously, Izzy's a huge one. Like I every time I see it, it's either me or it's me against him or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is going to be magic. Like it's going to be. There's not because we just. I respect him. I hope he respects me. Yeah, so that's always one. And Marcus Scott, man, he has been one of the he has been one of the hardest but most fun like experiences I've had in pro wrestling because like I'm 6'3". You know what I mean? So everyone's always shorter than me. You know, but now I'm looking up. You know what I'm saying? Like now there's someone bigger than me. So it's just a thing of like when you have that mutual respect between each other, you know you can go out there, you can make magic. It's gonna work. You know, so like those are the two. And then Robbie's another one. We've only wrestled once, but like I have a lot of respect for yeah, but when I was going through the training process, Robbie was just obviously outside of Jimmy. Rob, because like I can sit here and talk about how much Jimmy Lee's helped me all night. But Robbie was another one that just he was always there if I had a question, or and there was sometimes like I wouldn't understand what he was saying, and he's just yeah, he's really helped me, man. Like those are a few names, and then like I said, this match coming up, it's more than just like you know who the tag champs are. The tag champs are Jimmy and Kenny.
Right?
So if me and Danny win, there's a possibility to student and teacher. It's
Oh, no way,
yeah,
dude.
he's yeah, I
That's
could sit here all
awesome.
day and talk about how much Jimmy Lee has helped me, but I'll save that for another time. Yeah, yeah, it's that's funny because the first independent wrestling show I ever went to was ASWA in 2011. They were still in the Eastbrook Center over in like it's not downtown Mansfield, but it is downtown Mansfield. Um, but Kenny and JJ were the first like wrestlers I ever got the chance to talk to. So like I knew then. I think I was like 12 or 13. I don't know. Maybe 14. I don't know. I think I was in high school. It was a while ago. Um, they were the first wrestlers that I ever talked to, and they were so nice. You know, JJ and like I think Jimmy and Kenny like signed my LeBron James jersey that night. Like, yeah,
That's
probably something that would have been worth a lot of money now, but
yeah,
because it was
probably.
definitely a Cavs jersey. But I remember that night I was like, oh, when I get trained to be a pro wrestler, I'm coming to ASWA, and there was no one else that was going to train me. Like my mind was set right there.
It made a really huge impact
Yeah.
early on you, then.
Yeah, well, he's been doing this for a while. He's been all over the place. He has some stories, man. Like you ever get him on here, he's the living nightmare's got some stories.
Oh, I bet. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
work my way up the card,
Yeah.
sir. Before we go any further, we'll try to do this at the end of the show too. But where can the fans find you on social, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? Where can they find you?
Um, I tried Twitter. It didn't. I tried Twitter. It didn't work well for me. It was just like I wanted to focus. Man, I know Twitter's huge for like athletes and stuff, but I mainly like for wrestling try and focus on Facebook and Instagram because that's where like my families are. Like my both sides of my family are there. So Instagram is Colton Quinn underscore pro. And then obviously my Facebook is just Colton Quinn. I might try Twitter again eventually because I've seen people. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of social medias coming out again, so I don't know.
You're
But
not
my
wrong.
TikTok is the same as my Instagram, and the links are on both uh, pages. So
Yeah, we'll post those in the show notes for everybody. And that now we've reached the part of the podcast where we like to use pod decks to really make it interesting and have some different types of questions.
okay.
So first, it's going to be if you could put any three things in a time capsule, what would it be?
Oh, oh man. Probably one of my shirts because I need people to know I was a wrestler because it's like the only thing I do. Um, oh, that's hard. Probably a headband because I'm always sweating. It's a weird thing that people need to know, I guess. And then probably one of those old like metal lunch boxes because I love them and I need other people
I
to
used
also
to
love
love
them.
those
So
too.
yeah.
Who is the craziest person that you know in real life?
Oh man. Probably my tattoo artist. He's calmed down a lot now because he has kids. But yeah, on like crazy. Yeah, honestly, there was times it was definitely him. He's an amazing person though. We were friends before he became a tattoo artist, but he those are those stories that I probably can't tell. But
Yeah. Once again, we'll just
yeah,
keep those untellable stories to
yeah,
yourself. Since you brought up tattoos, are some of your tattoos incredibly special to you, like for
yeah.
people, or
Half of my or the front part of my oh no, never mind. My entire forearm is dedicated to my family. One's for
okay?
my mom, and one is for one of my uncles I was super close to that passed away. So I got an angel there as like a archangel, like a warrior angel, just because that's who he reminds me of. But I have a tattoo that has like a rose, an eye, and a clock on it. I know it's like the most basic tattoo for anyone to have anymore. But the clock is actually set to when my mom was born, and it has her three initials in there. So because like yeah, she's like my biggest supporter. So
That's awesome, dude.
yeah,
Gotta show love for the moms, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
there any special significance with your wrestling name that you have? Like,
Yeah, yeah, it is. Well, the first one is. The last one, I'm not gonna lie. We needed a name for the poster, and I was driving down 30, and a song by Sleeping. No, it was. Who was it? No, yeah, it was Sleeping with Sirens. The lead singer's name is Kellen Quinn, so I took the last name because I really like the band. Like, it's one of my favorite bands. And then Colton. I don't know if you know how Madison School District worked. Um, we were, yeah, we were split between, I think at the time, four different elementary schools. So when we all came to the old, like, big junior high, they used to be up on that, like, completely empty hill now. All the schools came together, so you got to, like, meet new kids and stuff. Well, I met someone, we weren't like the closest, but in high school we became pretty close because we were taking the same like adult ed and stuff. And the first time I met him, he did not like my real name. He said it didn't fit me. So he called me Colton until like my junior or senior year of high school. He called me Colton. And then he finally started using my real name. But he sadly is he passed away. So it was like a little like, okay, I need a name. I'm going to use this because of who. It was torn between that or Corey because like my real name shortened down. Like some teachers or like people I would meet would shorten my name down to Corey, even though it's not. But yeah, so that's how Colton got added to that. It was just a little like, okay, I miss this dude, so I'm gonna use this name, and that's yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool,
Mhm.
man. Dude, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, dude. Since you brought up some of the music that inspired your last name, what is your favorite genres of music? Like,
Um, actually, like my favorite genre of music is like the pop punk stuff. I love that. People call it emo music or whatever, but I love that, like All Time Low and A Day to Remember, like stuff you would see at incarceration. Like that's what that's what I mainly listen to. There's some hip hop for sure. Like obviously my earlier years wrestling up until recently, like I just switched my song in Mansfield.
I really like that one
Um,
too.
so it was hip hop for a while. Yeah, I actually there's a band called Always Grounded. The lead singer is also a pro wrestler, so that's how I kind of got connected with him. And I just I asked him on Facebook. I was like, "Hey, can I use your song as my entrance music?" Because like I needed copyright for the song for Mansfield because obviously you guys stream it on your YouTube channel. And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And it's cool because he actually they're working on an EP right now, and he sent me it before it even released, so I could
Oh,
listen
dude,
to
that's
all of it
cool.
and give him feedback. But yeah, like that genre of the music that I enter to
Okay.
now, that's like my go-to. In the gym, which most people that's not gym music. Well, for me it
I
is.
definitely
Like
get why like that's
I
gym
love
music for
that
me.
kind of music. And actually, one of my like best friends growing up, his sister was like a huge fan of
Okay.
All Time Low, and that's what like really caught it because he like burned me. He burned me like CDs. Oh God, I'm old. He like
You're
burned
old.
me CDs back in the day of like all these bands, and like he had like 3 or 4 All Time Low songs on there, and like I was already a big fan of Linkin Park. Like that's my personal favorite band of like all time. I love Linkin Park,
You and me both,
but
brother. Love Lincoln
yeah, there
Park.
was just a bunch of like all time low and music like that on there, and it really like since then, and it's kind of part of like the Rowdy Rebel like people say gimmick, but I 100% like that's just who I am. Like that's but yeah, that's a big part of it is like the music too because I love music. I used to be able to play a little bit of guitar. I wasn't great. I would love to pick it up again, but yeah, yeah, I actually
See, now that's what we need Marcus Colton
yeah,
for. I bet
yeah,
he can play.
yeah, I'm sure he does.
Since you brought up Lincoln Park, dude, what do you think of their new album?
I actually used to have all of their CDs and like albums and stuff. Yeah, I used to have like the original of their stuff on like vinyl because I used to collect them. I used to be really into like records and stuff. And I see it's making like a comeback, so I might get back into it,
Oh, dude, it's
honestly.
making a huge comeback.
Yeah.
Disturbed just released the 25th anniversary vinyl of their first album, which, I'm old. I
Oh,
bought that on CD as a teenager.
25th anniversary? Oh man. I remember that album. Oh man. I mean, I was young, but like, oh no, and if it was 25 years ago, I was 3, but like,
I was a freshman.
yeah.
Since you brought up Lincoln Park, do you like that new album?
I do actually. I think that she fits. Like no one will ever replace Chester ever. It's just not going to happen. But
Right?
at the same time, like fans need to be open minded about everything. Everything. Like you can't help that. He passed away.
I
Like
don't understand the hate for it. I just don't.
right. Like 3 days.
Because people were complaining about legacy and this, that, and the other. Well, the band is Chester's
Yeah, 3
legacy.
Days Grace has had 3 different lead singers, and people still love them. So
And she's wonderful. That thing's on. I listen to that like three
yeah,
times every time I play it.
yeah. I love that. Yeah, I love it. I love that new album.
Ooh, back to the pod decks. If you could start a secret society, what would it be?
A secret society? Oh, these are some questions. Yeah. Oh man. I think I would just start like a little punk rock one, man, because people don't like appreciate Green Day and stuff like that, or like, well, Green Day's not really mainly punk, but like Rancid and Misfits, and I don't think Ghost is. Some people count Ghost as punk rock, but I don't. I
No,
would
I
just
wouldn't
start
consider it punk either.
a little society of like, okay, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big conspiracy theorist, so it'd probably be one of those like tinfoil ones. Honestly, we just listen to punk rock and watch alien videos or something.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
wonderful. Do you watch Ancient Aliens then?
I actually, so I'm not gonna lie, this is, I guess I can't call myself a conspiracy theorist. I've not watched a lot of that show.
Oh man, it's
I
so
know
good.
I've heard it's on Hulu too. I should definitely.
You should definitely check it out. It's great for like 30 minutes,
Yeah,
and then it had to be aliens, not it could be
yeah,
aliens,
yeah,
but it's great, dude. Yeah,
yeah,
it's become like my ESPN. Like, you know how dudes turn on ESPN and take a nap? Now I turn on Ancient Aliens and take a nap.
yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, no, again, mine's, I'll turn wrestling on and fall asleep. Like, I'll watch it until I doze off. I actually, I'm not gonna lie, I just did that. I didn't have to work today, so I like at 2 o'clock, I went in there and just turned wrestling on. I woke up at like a quarter till 5.
Man, you didn't take a nap, you
Yeah.
went back to sleep.
Yeah, no, yeah, I went to sleep.
What's the worst nightmare you've ever had?
Oh man. I've literally like legitimately had a dream where like it's like a basic dream where you're like drowning and you see the like moon or whatever and you're swimming and swimming and swimming, but it's so far away. I remember
Damn.
that one. And then I don't remember one, but I guess there was one that was like really bad because like Danny heard me
Oh, really?
screaming. Um, yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, I've had some crazy dreams. It's always at like a stressful part in my life
Oh,
too.
dude,
You
me
know what I
too.
mean? Like I'm just like super stressed, and then it's just like, oh, here's a terrible dream. I used to have a dream when because like I love horror movies. I love them. I used to have a reoccurring dream, and when I say reoccurring, I mean like every day for like 2 months. I had a dream that Freddy Krueger was following me, and I would slip down this little hill, like not even a big hill, like a hill you would see steps on to
Damn.
get to an old house, and he would just like stand over me and not do anything. And I had that dream for like months, and I was like 12 years old. So yeah, the that might count as one of the scariest ones actually, because like he just stared there. He wasn't trying to get me or anything. So it was just like weird. Oh,
Have you always
I've
loved horror
always
movies?
loved
Like,
them.
what do you have some of your favorite ones? Like, because I remember, like,
Hmm.
I tried to watch Freddy when I was 12, and that was a mistake. Like, because I wasn't into him at first, but I wanted to be because everything was going on. Because '80s baby, '90s kid.
Yeah, those are still my favorite movies. Like to this day, like 80s and 90s like slasher flicks are still like my favorite movies. Yeah, I love them.
Have you seen the Terrifiers?
I love Terrifier. Yes, I have not seen the third one
Yes.
yet.
Me neither.
I have
It's still like
not
twenty
seen
five
it.
dollars.
I know, I know. I
Still
actually,
$25 on streaming.
so that's a funny thing. I know these aren't really scary movies, but like I remember we left Monday. Like this just happened. We left Monday. We got trapped in that hotel, honestly. And I was like, man, this kind of sucks, you know, but we tried to make the most of it. We ordered pizza because there was a pizza place like right across the street. So like we didn't, yeah. But I was like flipping through the hotel channels and stuff. Dude, they had Beetlejuice 2 on there for free. And I can't even
Oh,
like find it
what?
on
I think that's
streaming
on
right now.
Hulu.
It's like $25 to watch. And I was just like, oh, this isn't gonna be a bad night.
Oh no, no, it's on Max now.
Oh, I don't have Max.
You got to get Max, man. That A24
Yeah.
is all over it with horror movies. What's your all-time favorite horror movie?
Oh, all time. Like I don't even think it's really like a horror movie anymore because like it's just like a pop culture one now. But I love Freddy vs. Jason. Like I love that movie. And then like I loved this movie got a lot of hate actually in the like series, but I loved Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It's like the like
Yeah, it was
one of
six
the
or
later
seven or
ones.
eight, 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's maybe 6 or 7. Yeah, it was late. It was a later one. And then there was a I actually like I love the original It, like Curry, I think Tim Curry was the actor in that.
Yeah, yeah. Tim
Yeah,
Curry was the clown.
and
Yes,
then
sir.
like my favorite one when I was younger was definitely like the first Hellraiser movie. I thought it was really cool. But my mom like she never would let us watch it on video because like we were 3 kids and those movies are rated R. So we back when Sci-Fi was like a huge channel on like Sundays for like movie marathons. That's how we would watch all of them. She still never would let us watch Saw though. Like I had to wait until I was like 17 or 18 when I finally seen Saw just because. And then like you see Saw and you're like, man, they don't make movies like this because it was just for its time. It was so gory. And then here's Terrifier now, and it's just like, oh, sawing people in half, and you watch the entire thing.
Dude, I made a terrible mistake when I was watching the first
The first one or the
the
second
first one.
one?
The first one.
Yeah.
Just wild, dude. So I got real hungry. I made some. I've never done this before in any horror. Like I'll eat
Yeah.
and watch horror films, but then I'm watching Terrifier. I get hungry. I pause it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that part where he's wearing her as a suit? Well, so I pause it. Leading up to that, I make me some chicken, finish it,
Yeah.
and then I turn it back on. And that
Yeah.
part's on, and it just
See,
felt weird to
I'm
me to
lucky.
like
I've
eat
never,
and watch
I'm
it.
lucky. I don't know if I'm lucky or crazy, but I've never had that problem. I can just like eat spaghetti and watch a horror movie. I don't,
Like normally it doesn't bother me at all, but
yeah.
just this one time it hit my brain like you shouldn't eat while this dude's running around wearing a lady's skin. Like it's just something's not
Right.
right about this.
Right.
Do you like the Evil Dead series?
I do. I do. It's been so long since I've seen the first one though. I like can't remember it, but actually me and Danny went to see Evil Dead Rise,
That's the best one.
and I was yeah, I was actually about to say before like we went off on the other thing like the Terrifier when you asked like favorite horror movie of all time, like that's it. That's the one. Like I love that movie. It's incredible. I think I've because it hit streaming for a while, and oh my god, I feel like it was once a week. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, dude, I
But
love the whole series. Evil Dead,
yeah,
Evil Dead 2, even though it's just a remake of 1,
yeah.
Army of
I,
Darkness.
yeah, I love horror movies.
But Evil Dead Rise is my favorite one out of all of them.
Hmm. Yeah, I know they're making a new one. They're yeah, they're making a new one, and then like I actually like I'm a big video game player. Honestly, like I love them, and I have not played the game yet, and I
I
really
didn't
want
know that
to.
they even had one.
Yeah, like
I'm
I
way out
think
of the
it
loop.
released like a maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I remember like everyone was super excited for it, and like obviously like I grew up on Silent Hill and Resident Evil, and like those are the games me and my like younger brother. I don't. My older brother was into like Need for Speed and Farm Simulator, and me and my younger brother were into like horror games and stuff. But yeah,
What the Sydney Sweeney movie? Did you see that one last year? Where she was, what's the name of it?
oh, where she was like a nun or whatever.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, we watched
Immaculate.
that, and like the movie itself was
Yeah, it was
yeah
immaculate.
the the movie itself was good. I don't know, man. Like horror movies recently have been so good, and then you get to the ending, and you're like, man, like really. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a solid movie.
Have you seen
I know
Midsummer?
I have not seen. I think I watched part of it. Again, another hotel movie. It was on there. I watched part of it, but I heard that's more like psychological than like just
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it'll mess you up, dude. It's really good. But I was like, oh,
Hmm.
Florence Pugh,
Yeah,
A24. Oh, I'm
I
watching
think
this.
that was supposed to be one of those like slow burn like movies, and those are the ones that always get you. Like those are the ones. Like I actually just watched Babadook for the first time, and
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that movie in
oh, I
forever.
just watched it for the first time, and I was like, man, this movie, like, because it was one of those psychological ones too that was trying to like prove a point about like depression and yeah, and I watched that and I was like, man, so like the whole point, obviously, spoiler alert for anyone, was the mom was dealing with depression and stuff and anxiety, and the ending of the movie, people didn't understand, but like. she locked Babadook in the basement. It's like locking your demons in your head, you know? Like people miss the entire meaning of that movie. Like everyone who hates that movie didn't understand what it was like made for.
I think when that came out, everything was slasher,
Yeah.
slasher, slasher. So I think just people weren't ready to think
Hmm.
with their horror movies. And I think it's been really great that horror movies have been able to come
Yeah.
into that lens and make you think about things without being real preachy
Yeah.
about it.
Like I seen they're making another. Yeah. They're making another I'm trying to think. Oh, they're making another I Know What You Did Last Summer or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I think they're doing
And
another
they're
Final
doing another
Destination too.
Scream, and I think Chucky just got another season for Sci-Fi or whatever. Yeah,
I really loved those new Scream movies. I'm really curious what they're gonna do since two people like got removed and they're bringing back two of the new people. But I
yeah,
really love those
yeah. I don't
movies.
know. See that's another thing. Like people hated the new Scream movies, and I don't know if I'm biased because like I grew up on the Scream movies, but I loved them. I loved 5 and 6. I yeah, 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 and I loved the
No, I didn't mind them at all.
hmm
I don't get the hate. Like everybody was so mad that Dewey died. Like
yeah,
I get it was kind of dumb. But
yeah, an unpopular opinion. Yeah, right. You can't keep the main character forever. Yeah, you can't keep the main characters forever. Like I loved the new Halloween movies. People hated them. I loved them. Yeah. I heard there's a new Crystal Lake series coming out on Peacock.
okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Jason when he's a kid. And then Friday the or not Friday, Nightmare on Elm Street I think just gave the rights to Blumhouse for yeah, Freddy. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that'll be really good.
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
really cool
It's
to
been
see what
years.
Jason was doing between
Mhm.
being in the lake and being a giant monster. Because, like, obviously he was doing something.
Right. Ryan, Freddy vs. Jason left us with the biggest cliffhanger of all time in horror movies. So, yeah.
Since you brought up Jason, did you see Jason X or like people call it Jason in Space or?
Uh